What's going on, Giants fans? We are less than 100 days away from Giants football being back. And if you're watching this on Sunday, we are 98 days away. Shout out to Jesse Armstead. But look, if you're just ready to see the Giants on the field again, playing real football, like this video, because I'm ready. I know you're ready. So go down right now and like this video. Welcome in to New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. And in today's show, we're going to look at some winners and losers following the end of Giants OTAs. And then we'll fill you in on some mandatory minicamp dates that are coming up just next week. But Giants OTAs, they had 10 different practices, which ran from May 16th to the 17th. Then they had a break, then they practiced on the 19th, then they had another break and practiced on the 23rd and the 24th, then a break, then the 26th, and they finished it off this weekend practicing from the 31st to the 3rd. And look, Giants mandatory minicamp is just around the corner. That starts this week, and it'll go from June 7th to June 9th. And these are mandatory. So if players don't show up, they will be fined. And we'll definitely be talking about all the players that are not at Giants mandatory minicamp. And the first preseason game is August 11th. We talked about it off the top of the show. We are less than 100 days away from real Giants football being back. I cannot wait. And look, to stay up to date through the rest of the NFL offseason, the rest of the summer, go down right now and hit that big red button. We are trying to get to 10,000 subscribers here on Giants Now by Chat Sports as soon as possible. And look, for the rest of June, the rest of the July, and the rest of the time, if you want to stay up to date on Giants news and rumors, we are your one-stop shop, youtube.com/NYGiantsTV. Lock us in, hit that big red button for daily free videos on everything under the sun related to the New York Giants. Alrighty, let's get it going. Giants OTA winners. And the first one, I have Saquon Barkley. I loved what I've heard and seen from Saquon Barkley coming out of Giants OTAs. He's a player that gets a lot of hate from this fan base because of Dave Gettleman and him being selected second overall. But Saquon, he didn't miss a practice of OTAs. These were voluntary. He didn't miss voluntary workouts. He didn't miss voluntary OTAs, and he was there every single day. I love Saquon for that. He does everything he can to make himself the best football player possible. And being 100% healthy, unlike he was last year coming off that ACL injury, then he had the ankle injury against the Dallas Cowboys. He looked great at all 10 of Giants OTAs. He looked healthy, and Brian Daboll and Mike Kafka, they were using him in all kinds of different ways on the football field. He lined up as wide receiver a lot in Giants 11-on-11 drills and 7-on-7 situations. And this isn't just your usual off-season, team activities where the running backs line up at receivers and they get receiving reps. No, Barkley is going to be used in a multitude of ways on Sundays, and I expect him to be a lined up at receiver more than he ever has been in his young NFL career. But let's show Saquon some love, because like we talked about, a lot of people have hate towards Saquon. Shout out to Gettleman for that. Pick number 2, probably overdrafted a little bit. Had a great first year and second year, but since it hasn't been all great for 26. But let's show him some love because he's a captain of this team. He's a face of this team. Type 26 in the comment section to show Saquon Barkley some love. This will be the pinned comment on today's video. So when you get hit with that YouTube ad break, scroll on down, type 26 to show Saquon Barkley some love. The second biggest winner I have coming out of Giants OTAs is Daniel Bellinger, the rookie tight end, 4th-round draft pick out of San Diego State. This is someone that's already impressing Giants coaches and Mike Kafka, and Brian Daboll so much. He's been running with the first team just as much, if not more, than Ricky Seals-Jones. On this tight end depth chart, I have Seals-Jones and Bellinger as tight end 1A and 1B, but I would not be surprised if when week 1 gets here of the preseason, Bellinger is the guy that's going to be running with the first team, because that's what he did all OTAs long. It is rare for a 4th-round pick to come in to organize team activities and leave getting the nod. And it looks like he's going to be the favorite to start at that position. This is someone that I feel like has gone under the radar throughout the draft process. He wasn't asked to do a lot last year in college as a receiving tight end, but he took advantage of every opportunity he's had. He showed off speed, athleticism, ability to pick up the playbook. He's looked good in run blocking, and every chance he's got to catch a pass, he's done that. He has soft hands, and he's going to be a great red zone target for Daniel Jones this year. I am really excited to see what Bellinger can do in the Mike Kafka and Brian Daboll offense this year. The third winner I have coming out of Giants OTAs is Shane Lemieux. The fact that he's already back on the practice field, looking 100% healthy after he tore his patella tendon in week 2 of the 2021 season, and he's already back to being the Giants' starting left guard. This is someone that has looked good in the past before, but for him to be back under a new regime, and Brian Daboll, and Bobby Johnson as the offensive line coach, who have sung the praises of Shane Lemieux, bouncing back from that knee injury, tore his patella tendon. That is great news for the Giants, because Lemieux, he's popped sometimes for the Giants. He's looked good. This is someone that's a nasty offensive lineman. He replicates that dirtbag mentality that Bobby Johnson has talked about with this offensive line, and Shane Lemieux, he's caught the attention of Brian Daboll. Daboll spoke about Lemieux and what he's seen from him at OTAs, and this is what he had to say. He said, he's a tough, smart, dependable guy. Plays with a nasty edge, which you need up front. He did a really good job in the meetings that we had with him leading up to the draft when I was in Buffalo. He's done a really nice job here. He's smart. He's what I thought he was when we evaluated him. Now when the pads get on, he'll have an opportunity to show that. Brian Daboll and Bobby Johnson, they spent time with Lemieux back when he was going through the draft process coming out of Oregon. He said Bobby Johnson stayed in touch with him until the New York Giants drafted him, and now what do you know? Johnson and Daboll are now the coaches for Shane Lemieux, who is going to be the starting left guard for the Giants as long as he can hold that position away from the rookie Joshua Azudu. But we just showed you the Giants' offensive line depth chart. Andrew Thomas, Lemieux, Feliciano at the center, Mark Glowinski at right guard, and Evan Neal at right tackle. I have high hopes for this offensive line, but I want to hear from you. On today, what is your confidence level in this unit? Scale it from 1 to 10. 10 being you love it, 1 being you're not confident at all. Some other players that impressed at Giants OTAs, the rookie Wan'Dale Robinson out of Kentucky. We've talked about him at length on this channel. Him and Daniel Jones are already showing off a rapport and a chemistry level that's impressing Giants coaches. Elerson Smith, the second-year player out of Northern Iowa, the edge rusher, the former 4th-round pick. He's starting to show that potential that we saw from him in college, where he was dominant at that level, and he's starting to show the pass rush capability that he has. And Travis Toivonen, the receiver. Look, Sterling Shepard, Kenny Golladay, and Kadarius Toney, they were wearing red non-contact practice jerseys for the majority of Giants OTAs, and Toivonen stepped in and took advantage of the opportunity he had. He had a multiple targets. He got reps with the first team, and him and Daniel Jones have looked really good together. And then Michael Jacquet, the corner that they signed midway through OTAs, has looked better than Maurice Kennedy and the other corners that the Giants have signed, and it looks like Jacquet is going to find a way onto this Giants 53-man roster, and that's good for this team because this defensive back room and cornerback room in specific definitely has a question mark about it. And Daniel Jones is also a winner. He went through a stretch of OTAs where he didn't turn the football over. And I really have him as a winner on this list because he gets to work with Mike Kafka. He gets to work with Brian Daboll. Two coaches, that want the player and Daniel Jones to be more aggressive. Throw the ball downfield, and that's the type of play style that Daniel Jones thrives in. Also, here on Giants Now and Chat Sports, YouTube has added the Super Thanks feature, where it's right underneath me, the heart with the money sign in the middle. You can click on it and donate. It's very similar to a Super Chat, but I understand. A lot of people hit me up. They can't tune into our live shows. They've got work. They've got families to take care of, a lot of different things. Not everyone can do that. But if you want to show some love and donate to the show, just click on that icon. And every super thanks we get, I promise you, will get you up on screen. If you have a question, we'll answer it on our next show. It's another way to interact with me. Look, we pride ourselves on being the most interactive Giants YouTube channel. And if you want to show some thanks, you can go ahead and super thanks right underneath the video. In life, there are winners and there are losers. And Darius Slayton is my biggest Giants OTA loser. He started well at Giants OTAs, but down the stretch, the drops started to catch up with Darius Slayton. Look, he was out-targeted throughout Giants OTAs by Travis Toivonen. That's a problem. Toivonen last year, or 2 years ago, was in the fan-controlled football league. Darius Slayton was a 5th-round pick. The fact that he is getting outproduced by someone that wasn't even in the NFL a couple of years ago is a problem. And another problem is the drops continue to be a constant in Darius Slayton's game. This is someone that we know can be a good NFL receiver. Go back to his rookie year when he had 8 receiving touchdowns. He showed off the speed to be able to be a deep threat. But right now, I have him as wide receiver number 5 on this depth chart. I have Galladay at number 1, Shepard at 2. You could have Kadarius Toney at 2 and Shepard at 3. But Wan'Dale Robinson has taken a step above Darius Slayton. He's been more productive. He's been someone the Giants can count on to catch the football. He's picking up the playbook fast. And honestly, he's just a better football player than Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton might get cut because CJ Board, he offers you special teams capabilities. So that's 5 wide receivers I know we're going to make this roster. I also know that Daniel Jones loves David Sills. And I know this Giants front office loves Colin Johnson. So Darius Slayton could be cut by the New York Giants after a just rather poor OTAs from him this summer. Another Giants OTA loser, and this is more so to do with injury, is Matt Peart. Going to be the second-year player at a UConn. He was a third-round draft pick under Dave Gettleman, and Matt Peart is still rehabbing that torn ACL that he underwent in December of this past season and did not participate at OTAs. But it wasn't just the fact that he wasn't on the field. His replacements have looked good. Corey Cunningham, when Andrew Thomas, wasn't able to go and be a full participant in Giants 11-on-11 situations, Cunningham was the starting left tackle. He went and got those reps. And also the rookie, Joshua Azudu, has gotten work at left tackle as well. So that's 2 players that the Giants are getting work at opposite tackle spots. Those guys are going to be the swing tackles for the Giants this year. And if Matt Peart is unable to get on the field and stay healthy and show that he's improved as a player, I would not be surprised if he ends up getting cut by this new regime and Joe Schoen, who did not draft Peart in the NFL draft. It is not looking good for him if he's going to make this 53-man roster. The last loser I have on this show is Gary Brightwell, the second-year running back out of Arizona, and I have him as a loser because I don't think he's going to end up making this roster. When you look at this depth chart, it sounds like Brightwell is going to be the odd man out, especially for the fact that Jashaun Corbin has already caught the eye of Brian Daboll, who's sung the praises of him. And when you look at this depth chart as a whole, you know Saquon Barkley is going to be the number 1 guy. You know Matt Breida, which one is Breida? I don't know why I'm always saying it wrong. Matt Breida is going to be the RB2. He looked really good at OTAs. The Giants were using him as a receiving back. Then you have Brightwell, Corbin, and Antonio Williams. Antonio Williams, he has ties to Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen from his days back in Buffalo. Jashaun Corbin is a cheaper player. He's an undrafted player. So it looks like Gary Brightwell, who wasn't able to produce much his rookie year, only really contributed in special teams. It looks like his roster spot may be up for grabs. And if Corbin can continue to look like a stud as an undrafted free agent, I would not be surprised if this is someone that's going to end up taking his spot. I like what I've seen from Brightwell back in college at Arizona. He's a hard runner, but I don't know at the end of the day if he's going to have a spot on this roster. So I'm going to leave it up to you, Giants fans and everyone watching this video. Which running back do you think is going to make the Giants 53-man roster? If you think it's going to be Gary Brightwell, go down in the comment section and type GB. Or if you think the undrafted rookie out of Florida State, Jashaun Corbin, is the guy, go down in the comment section and type JC. I want to say thank you to everybody that's clicked on today's show and made New York Giants now a part of your day. You're a real one. If you made it this far in the video, go down in the comment section and type squad, because I like to go back in the comment section and see which people watched the whole video. So let me know you stayed around till the very end by commenting squad so I can, separate the real ones from the fake ones. But look, if you made it this far in the video, you're a real one.